Okay, everyone, welcome to Monday's update. Today we've got quite a lot of stuff to get through, so I'm going to try and keep this under 20 minutes. So let's get into it. So a lot of people are thinking, right, where's Bitcoin headed? Are we going to blast through this all-time high? Are we going to retrace? Or are we going to continue in this range? Before we talk about that, let's just take a look at some of the exciting stuff I've got coming up. So first things first, like I say here, it's very important for every trader, no matter where you are on your trading journey, be it at the start, be it a professional trader, be it you've been trading for 20, 30 years, one of the biggest habits you can form is to actually journal your trades. Now, journal your trades, think about, why did I get into this trade? What are the positive frameworks that allowed me to enter this trade? And, what are my negative thinking mental frameworks that are preventing me from making money per trade? And that's why I'm giving away my very own trade journal. All right, so here you can document your trade. You can, write down your thinking, patterns, etc. You can see your cumulative profit over time. And this single-handedly is probably one of the biggest tools that transformed my trading game. So if you do want this, I'm giving this completely free. Hit that follow button, drop me a message, and I will send this straight to you. It's not hard. It's just a simple Excel sheet. Okay. Well, next things first, we've got some exciting stuff coming up. So I have got a website up now, and basically what's going on is on the last Sunday of each month, I'm hosting a boot camp. And it's kind of a group, trading session for about 2 hours, probably more, 2 hours and a half. And it's just where we're going to go through some of my trading strategies and understand, the key concepts when it comes to trading, be it supply, demand, support, resistance, market structure, just so we are trading in the most responsible way. So if you do want to get involved with this, hit that sign up button and I will communicate with you and we can set something up. In the classes, we're looking at probably 5 people per session at the minute, and that will take place in the last Sunday of April. All right. Now, we had a few trades up, didn't we? We had a few trades. Why don't we take a look at where our trades are and how they've been? So as of last session, as of the 5th of April 2024, we were looking at these potential trades as our next trade setups. We said we had a 1 hour supply, we had this beautiful range, we had our range high, range low. We said we're looking to flirt within that range, but as we flirt within that range, we're looking to get a short from the range high and a long from the range bottom. We said before we enter the short, we're going to wait to get a nice SFP. What is an SFP? SFP is basically a second entry. It's a sweep of the first prior high. So we have our first high, we're looking to sweep that second high. And not only are we looking to get that beautiful SFP, we're looking to get a nice change in market structure on that decisional leg as we head towards the high. That was our confirmation. So we said without that, we're not entering that trade. So let's see what transpired. All right, so if we go back just to see what happened. So, price came towards our level, price actually, closed above that range. So if you consider this is the range high at 69,295, price closed above that level. So as soon as price closes above that level, you've got to be thinking, oh, I don't know about this one. I'm not sure if this is going to be a high probability play, because for a high probability play, we're not looking for a close, we're looking for SFP. For those of you that do not know what a close is when obviously with a bar, you've got your open here. If it's a bull bar, you've got your close. A close is when the highest part of your body actually closes above that line. Okay, so I'll show you that in a minute. But a close is when that happens. Now, if it closes below, we call that a wick. It just wicks that level. We were looking for it to wick that level. But as we can see, look at this bull trend bar. It didn't. It closed above that level. It did get a nice reaction and it did tempt us. It tempted us. Why? Because we got a nice reaction, a little rally down, and then he rallied up again, looking for that nice SFP of the first high. So some of you might be thinking, is this, a potential place to enter that short? Actually, at this point, I got a call from one of my friends saying, listen, TJ, you got to get into this short. It's active. And I said, nah, man, I'm going to wait. I'm going to give it time and I'm going to let market structure show me its hand. And what happened straight after? Well, we formed this nice, distribution, this kind of consolidation over here. Price set the high, flirted in that region, came again, and then broke that prior high. All right, so that was a surefire sign that, hey, this one's not going to work. All right, so for those of you who entered that trade, bad luck. For those of you who waited and didn't see the confirmation and waited a result, well done. And we're still waiting for our next level. So that's where we are at the moment as far as the trade goes. But there are a few things I do want to show you within that tiny range, within that accumulation zone or distribution zone, whatever you want to call it. There are a few things I do want to show you. So we broke, what do we expect after a range break? I've said this time and time again. After a range break, we're going to get, more often than not, we're going to get a retracement. So if that's our range, if this is our market structure, we break out of our range, we usually will get a retest of that range before we carry on up. And that's an opportunity to enter a long. Okay, so the long would have been right there. We would have taken that up, further up. Now, there are other methods by which you can enter and predict exactly where this bounce might take place. And I'm not going to go through that in this video, but just to give you an idea that there was a play there we could have taken. So let's see what transpired. I'm going to get rid of that drawing here. I'm going to get rid of this. So obviously we've got our range level. We've got this box here, which we can clearly see. All right, like you can see, I drew this at the time thinking, right, we've got our range over here. Now, we broke out of this range. If you can see, using this tool, we can kind of follow it to see what's happened. So we played in this range. We had a kind of like a nice symmetrical triangle here, didn't we? Now, I'm sure not a lot of you would have seen this, and if you don't use an oscillator, you probably would have completely missed this. Now, I did see this, and this is another reason why I didn't enter a short there. As we've got this nice symmetrical triangle, this is our bull trend bar for the triangle, this is our other trend bar for the triangle. We can see that this was a clear continuation pattern. Why was this a clear continuation pattern? It was because Market Cipher said it was. Market Cipher was printing higher highs, okay, on the price action, and on the oscillator, lower lows. All right. Now this is what we call a hidden bullish divergence. It's hidden because Mr. Market Maker does not want you to see it, because as soon as you see it, you might get a directional bias. So that told me that there is a chance this is a low and we're looking to press up, and that's exactly what we did. We pressed up. We did press up, but then we got that retracement. Remember, this is our range high. We'll break out of the range high. We're gonna get that retracement. But I must say that retracement was deep. That was a deep retracement. I guess we got two retracements. We got retrace number one here, which you could have entered on that long. All right, and then we did come quite deep. So that is unusual behavior for Bitcoin, I will say, But as we got that retracement, if we follow market structure, we could have said, all right, how can I have entered this trade here to catch this move? Well, let's see what market structure was saying. Well, we had a higher high, okay, and then we had a bearish change in market structure. I'm sure some people would have entered, a short here, but we had a bearish change in market structure. I'm going to look at this on a 10-minute because I think it's clearer in a 10 minutes. Yeah. So we had a bearish change in market structure. If we take that as one pool, and then as we got a bearish change in market structure, we closed below that level, as we can see. We retraced up. We come down here. All right. Now, what's happened here? So for those of you who have followed me for a long time would realize that what we've got here is another range. We've got our range low, and at the moment, we've got our range high over here, this being our range. So if you can't see that, this is our range here, this little box. So what can we see as far as market structure? Well, this is the last lower high that needs to be taken before we can enter a trade, before we can even justify a long of any shape or form. So we need this level to be taken out. If this level doesn't go, you shouldn't be in that trade. All right. So what does price do? Price plays around in that range. Now, price, usually I would like price to come at least towards this low and sweep this low before it breaks structure. That would be a brilliant high confidence play, but price didn't do that. Price had other ideas. What did price do? Well, it played in that range. We've still got this last lower high to break. That's what I'm watching out for. And then bang, price breaks out of that lower high. We've got that beautiful bull trend bar. Look at that long bar, spanning from 69,406 all the way to 69,824. That's about $400 bar. All right, under 10 minutes. I mean, that's pretty impressive. That's a huge bar. And guess what, guys? We've got our range. We broke out of that range. What do we expect after that? We expect the retracement back into that range. And that's exactly what price does. So for those of you who were watching and looking at this play, you would have entered on that retracement knowing that you're looking to go further up. And as you go further up, what's your first target? Well, you're looking to take out this high. You're seeing what price does as we take out that high. Secondly, you're seeing what price does as we take out this high. What did price do? Bang, aggressive, retracement, bang, aggressive, you know? So this is a lot of bullish momentum we can see here, and that would have been a juicy play. If we were to measure that, let's say we got in there, our risk to reward, that would have netted us, if we actually adjust that, because our stop loss at the very least should have been here, that would have given us a nice 10 risk to reward, which is nice. So if you put 1% in your account, you'd have got 10% out of that trade. Remember, we only trade 1% here. We're 1%ers, all right? So that's it. That's where we are at the moment. So now, TJ, what's going on? Where's my next trade? What's the market saying? Or actually, I think now is a good time just to get an overview of the global picture of Bitcoin to see what is happening. So in terms of Bitcoin, let's just get a global perspective as we do every Monday. I think today's Monday. So with Bitcoin, we can see that we have had on a monthly, we've had an uptrend, we've had a low, we had a retest of the high, we broke structure. We were looking for that retracement to set, a lower high to go further down, but it didn't quite come. Instead, we broke structure on the monthly here, all right? So now, what are we looking for? Well, we're looking to see how aggressively are we going to break structure on the monthly? Are we going to go boom, 100K Bitcoin, everyone's happy, bull cycles here? Or are we going to accumulate and are we going to drop down into the abyss and continue waiting for this 100K Bitcoin? Is this 100K Bitcoin going to happen this year? If you think so, feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you think. Otherwise, let's carry on. So if we go on a weekly now, we can analyze this structure. So let's see what the weekly is saying. On the weekly, we have a nice clear uptrend, and our uptrend looks like this. Okay, perhaps that will be our last weekly level. And then on a weekly, it looks like that. Okay. All right, that's it for the weekly. So on our weekly, we do not have a change in market structure yet. And if anything, we can't justify a weekly change in market structure until this level, excuse me, I'm just trying to take this off because I don't really like that. That yellow is annoying. Get rid of that. All right. Bear with me one moment. All right, that's better. Okay, we'll live with that one for a minute and then we'll change that in a second. All right. So on the weekly, we have our last weekly lower high. Our last weekly high low coming in at around 39,559. So that's our weekly level. Now on this weekly, on this decisional expansion leg of our weekly, let's take a look at our daily. Well, if we look at our daily market structure, we have more pronounced structure, which is what you expect as you go lower and lower in time frame. So our daily structure looks like this: higher high, higher low. I believe we have a higher high, higher low, which is good. And then we have, well, we have to draw it in, we really do. We've got on the, actually no, this is not the daily, this is the 18 hour. That makes sense, because I was thinking, what's going on there? All right, anyway, so we do that again. We've got a higher high, higher low. Okay, and then it's one straight sweep up there. It's one straight sweep, which means our last high low on the daily is coming at 50,362. So you can't really chat to me about a change in market structure on a daily until that level is taken. You can't even think about a change in market structure on the weekly until that level is taken, all right? So what does that mean? We're still in this daily sort of like swing leg. We have a high and our low. So this is a massive, expansion leg on a daily. What has Bitcoin done then? On the 4 hour, if we zoom in a bit more and get rid of this daily leg, if we analyze what's happened on the 4 hour, we can see that on the 4 hour, we have a beautiful range. We've got a nice range. Now, where is our range? We have our range high and we have our range low, and we are just flirting within that range. Now, everyone, and trust me, everyone's watching this level here. They're watching to see what is Bitcoin going to do when it approaches that range high. Is it going to do what we preach on this channel every single day? Is it going to have a second entry where it sets that first high, comes back, sweeps that first high in the second entry, and then is it gonna do that? Yeah, that's what lots of traders are watching. That's why we're also watching that level for a nice little short there. So I believe I deleted that in the past. I'm just gonna add that there. That's my next level that I'm looking for a short. Okay, and what am I looking for at that level? I'm looking for clear market structure change from bullish to bearish. So if we're going higher highs and higher lows, for example, like this, higher highs, higher lows, we're looking to get a change in market structure to print a lower low, a lower high, and I'm looking to enter on that level. So where would I enter that trade? I would enter that trade right around there. All right, after the sweep, of course. So the sweep would be there. I'll wait for that break in structure, then I'll enter right there. All right, now if I see that, let's say on the 15 minutes, all right, let's say on the 15 minutes. If I see that on the 15 minutes, oh my goodness, I am entering that trade. And you know, I do only risk 1%, but I might be tempted. To risk 1.5% on this one, all right? So just make sure you're watching that level. That is a juicy level for all of us. All right, are there any internal levels we need to keep an eye on? Are there any trades before then we need to keep an eye on? Well, in the case that we have a reaction before we get to that level, where could that reaction come from? Well, to understand that, we have to go on a lower time frame and say, are there any supply or demand zones within that level? Can we see any supply and demand zones? So if we analyze the prior high, well, the prior high is telling me, saying, hey, TJ, I've got a 12-minute supply zone over here, and I've got a 5-minute supply zone over here. So even though, you know, basically supply zones act like magnets, don't they? They attract the price or they repel the price, all right? So even though, you know, I do want that all-time high to be swept, you know, I would be silly if I didn't mark out these levels here as potential areas for our next reaction, all right? So what I'm going to do is drag that across so we can monitor market structure as we approach that level, okay? So that's where I'm looking out for potential reaction, a change in market structure at that level, all right? Now, those are what I'm looking for in terms of my short trade. So what do I need to do now? Well, I need to drag this across properly over here. And I don't think we've tagged this, have we? Oh, no, we just about missed it. All right. So I'm going to set my alert there, alert number 1. I'm going to set alert number 2. Really and truly, you could treat this as one big zone. And I'm going to set alert number 3. So those are where I'm looking for my shorts. All right. Now, where am I looking for my next longs, my next scalp longs? Well, to understand that, as we always do, we're going to take a look at the decisional leg. We're going to take a look at this expansion leg that we see over here, you know. Now, there are some things to talk about in this expansion leg, but before we do that, let's get rid of all this rubbish. All right, so what is there to talk about? Well, we can see that we've had that accumulation, all right, and in that accumulation, you know, this is a potential area where we're going to get a sweep. So we could get something like that. So this zone, especially from that high to that low, is another zone we need to be watching out for. Now, in the case that we do break past that zone, for these demand zones over here, we've got 1 hour demand zone over here, I would be worried. Why would I be worried? It's because in order for us to touch this zone, we would have officially broken market structure bearish. That would be the break. So that would be quite alarming. All right, so just be worried about that. I would rather get a reaction off this zone for further continuation up. So that will be my next long trade off that zone. In case we get a bit deeper down, well, you know, that's dangerous territory, but do watch that zone for a reaction. Now let's see, do those levels, so I'm going to draw this as an entire zone using a rectangle. Now, do those levels coincide with what perhaps our volume profile is saying? Well, if we look at our volume profile, let's take a look at our volume profile. Well, our volume profile says we've got the entire range. It says, all right, we've got our value area high there, POC, okay, not quite. Does it marry up with any fib pools? Let's take a look quickly. Let's see if we've got any fib levels coming out there. So if we turn that to a fib pool, well, we've got a 38% level over there. All right, but I guess that's a bit of added confidence. But definitely look at that zone for your next long. So what I'm going to do is add a long position there. And that's it. I'm in no rush to enter a trade. I'm waiting patiently to see what price does at the range high. That'll be the juiciest trade. I'm also waiting to see if price can get a bounce off this zone for a continuation. All right. Well, there you have it. Hope you found this useful. If you want more content like this, hit that follow button and hit that boost. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow.